finally got the retail sales data out, and after negative results, we're still seeing a rally in the dollar. That's pretty interesting. Let's talk about it here today at Capital Markets. Traders, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Capital Markets. I'm your host, Cleveland Bishop, and here at Capital Markets, we give you guys the technical and the fundamental analysis every single day. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you're notified when these new releases are coming out. And as always, if you guys ever have any questions, please comment down below. Our team will be right there to answer them, whether it's something dealing with technical analysis or what's happening and why these fundamental news results are coming out the way they are. Please let us know what's going on. We'll be right there for you. Okay, so speaking of fundamental analysis, we just had a retail sales number that dropped from the U.S. We had a 0.5 expected, but we ended up getting a 0.3 actual. That's considerably lower than the expected number, yet we're seeing an increase in the dollar. Now, why is that the case? Well, maybe it is because since we're seeing consumers spending less money, that might be an impact of CPI increasing. Consumer price inflation means that consumers are going to be spending more money in the economy. So if we're seeing a retail sales slow down, maybe that is the sign of inflation that the Fed has been looking for. So this might give them more precaution to raise rates. Now, that is just a thesis, but it makes sense in terms of the variables and why we're continuing to see retail sales slow. You guys got to also remember, we're seeing PPI slow down much sooner than we were seeing retail sales slow down. And PPI usually is an early indicator of inflation because that is business inflation. That is the prices that businesses are paying for the products that the consumers are buying. So eventually you are going to see consumers front that cost, but you're going to first see it in that business sector. That might be a reason why we're seeing retail sales slow down in some capacity, right? So we're going to hear out what Mr. Williams has to say. He has a meeting that he's going to be speaking at tomorrow. He's part of the Fed, and he may give us an inclination as to how he has taken these retail numbers, and that's, of course, something that you want to look out for. We'll be talking about that here tomorrow, and his comments, again, this might give you an edge in being able to determine, okay, if Mr. Williams is more positive about the inflationary outlook, you might continue to see a dollar slide, right? On the Euro USD, the dollar just hit an all-time low. It pulled back just a bit, but we may continue to see that market sell off. We were actually hoping to see a little bit of a sell-off on that UCAD, but of course UCAD pushed to the upside as well. Still consolidated, but again, it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly happens. We know that Canada has some major news coming out. Yesterday, we spoke about how Canada has a CPI data release that's going to be dropping on Friday. And even outside of the CPI data release, their Fed members are going to be speaking, but that's before the CPI data release, right? On Friday, also, Canada is going to be having their own retail sales numbers, and Canada retail sales has not done so well. That's why Canada has somewhat fallen off a cliff this year in 2018. Will they be able to rebound? We are seeing inflation starting to push across the entire global economy. This may give us an inclination to start to see CAD strength. That will give you a sell-off there on that USD CAD. Looking at our emerging markets, we can see that New Zealand is one of the most trending markets at the moment. New Zealand right now taking some massive hits. Here's the Aussie New Zealand. We know that Aussie and New Zealand can correlate. They're right next to each other and they share a lot of the imports, exports. They usually copycat each other's monetary policies. Yet we are seeing New Zealand falling dramatically lower than where Australia is going. And if we head back over to the NZD USD, you guys will also see that the US dollar is gaining a lot of strength. I know that the US dollar is gaining strength across the board, but compared to New Zealand dollar, we're seeing a massive move. Now, we're going to be doing a little bit more research and hit you guys tomorrow with what's going on, but we have to think that it deals something with China and the export business that's happening on that end. China and Australia and New Zealand are heavily export and import partners, and anything happening in China in terms of a government slowdown or a monetary policy increase, anything happening in China usually gives a massive effect over in the Aussie and the New Zealand area. Also, we're seeing a massive spike in gold, yet we haven't seen too much of that relay back over to Australia. Australia's third largest import is gold. We did see Australia move a little bit because of oil prices. That is Australia's number 2 export. That's it for today's analysis, guys. Please make sure you are subscribed, comment if you have any questions, and also head over to capital-markets.com if you guys need to get a broker. We have some of the tightest spreads and we route from some of the best liquidity providers in the entire world. Okay, so head over to capital-markets.com and I'll see you on the other side. I'm Cleveland Bishop. Talk to you guys tomorrow.